Hi guys, today I'll be giving my full card predictions for UFC 328 Chimaev versus Strickland. Right now we are in a one win winning streak on UFC Prediction Tracker. It was close. We made like $50 profit. We're trying to keep the winning streak. I'm trying to get a 10-win streak. I think that's like the only person ever in UFC Prediction Tracker history to ever get a 10-win streak. That's the goal. Right now we're on track. We're on 1 week, and we're gonna try to keep up the win streak in this week. Before I start this, if you guys could like and subscribe, it means a lot to me. It really actually means a lot to me, and it keeps me motivated to push out more content. And if you guys could also help out your boy and just like, I will have the timestamps posted below so you guys can get the quick picks if you want. But if you guys could just leave the video opening in a tab or in the background, like, you don't even have to have the volume on, just like have it open in the background so I could collect my hours so I could start getting monetized soon. If you guys want, if you don't want to, it's fine. You could just get the quick picks with the timestamps below. But if you could, it would mean a lot to me. Alright, let's get this started. For the first fight on the prelims, we have Clayton Carpenter going against Jose Calza for Ochoa. Clayton Carpenter is a really good all-around fighter. He has decent striking, decent wrestling, and he has high-level jiu-jitsu. Even though he has all of these great attributes, he's 2-2 in the UFC. He beat Edgar Chairez, not that good. He submitted Juan Camilo Ronderos. He's a journeyman. Lucas Rocha is actually pretty okay. Tigir Ulanbekov, and he lost to Rafael Filo. The Rafael Filo loss isn't aging as well, even though when I re-watched that fight, I saw him rock Rafael Filo. And in a low IQ moment, he decided to grapple with Rafael Filo, and he ended up getting Kimura'd. It was a very low IQ play by Clayton Carpenter, knowing how good of a submission artist Rafael Filo is. If that fight took place on the feet, like how Cody Djorden did so well against Rafael Filo, Clayton Carpenter would have done so well. That was a bad IQ move from Clayton Carpenter. Now with his fight with Tigir Ulanbekov, he got outclassed, he got out wrestled, and he got outdone in every facet. He got taken down pretty easily, and he got beat every single round. Now with Jose Ochoa, he's actually a very good technical boxer. I like his boxing a lot, and when I watch his fights, I could tell that he has really good distance management. Bro, when he fights, like I want you guys to go rewatch his fights. Obviously you're not going to, but like, for 25 years old, he has very high fight IQ. His fight IQ is very good. He's patient and he knows when to strike, and he won't chase any finishes. And that finish over Cody Djorden was so impressive because that left, I think it was more, was it a, no, it was a left hook. I thought it was an uppercut. But that left hook against Cody Djorden in the first few seconds of that starting second round, it was so beautiful and nice and like calculated. It was just perfect. He's so good for a 25-year-old prospect. Now his losses are very high level to Lorna Kavanagh and Asu Almabayev. Now Lorna Kavanagh, who we saw recently beat Brandon Moreno in Mexico on very short notice. Very impressive win for Lorna Kavanagh, and losing to Lorna Kavanagh isn't bad at all. He got fluke knocked out by Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson also did that to Joshua Van, who is fighting in the co-main in this event. So honestly, not even a bad loss. Had some competitive rounds with Lorna Kavanagh. Was getting a little, I'm gonna be real, he was getting a little bit outshook. But I do believe that Lorna Kavanagh is like a top 3 kickboxer, Muay Thai in the division, and it's not really close. He's probably top 2 or maybe 1. But that's a very good loss. And with Asu Almabayev, he was getting taken down pretty easily. Not really easily, but like he would get taken down. But the thing I like about Jose Ochoa, he was active on the ground, and he was always trying to get back up, and wasn't always like accepting his position. So in this fight, I feel like Clayton Carpenter needs to get takedowns if he wants to be Jose Ochoa, because on the feet, I do believe he's very outclassed. I just reminded myself that Clayton Carpenter, like when you watch his fights, he's a very explosive athlete. When he strikes, he like puts like a lot of power, a lot of speed into it. So that's why his striking looks good. But there's not really any technicality to it, and he's very hittable on the feet. So is kind of Jose Ochoa, because also Mabayev, being a short, stocky grappler, was just throwing hooks and was kind of landing on Jose Ochoa. I don't see Clayton Carpenter doing that. I see Jose Ochoa using his, I feel like with his very high fight IQ, I think he's going to be able to keep distance management, get his shots off, get some calf kicks, get some body kicks. And I feel like he's just going to outclass Clayton Carpenter on the feet. And I am going to pick Jose Ochoa. And I do believe he can get the late round 3 KO, because he has dangerous hands if you keep him on the feet. He even rocked Lorna Kavanaugh at one point. He has power in his hands, and I'm not even kidding. I'm glad I rewatched all three of these fights because it kind of gave me better perspective. And I do like that he's been taking 9 months off to reevaluate and make himself like improve his game because he's only 25 years old. He's a pretty decent prospect. Has two losses, but they're two very high losses. There's a path to victory for Clayton Carpenter. I just don't see I just see Jose Ochoa having a better and easier path to victory because Clayton Carpenter needing to incorporate his wrestling isn't really gonna get him the win if Jose Ochoa could just stuff the takedowns, which I do think he can. So yeah, the pick will be Jose Ochoa, and I am picking him for a late round 3 KO. Now for the next fight, we have Baisangur Hunter Susurkaev going against Djorden Shakur Santos. All right, now Susurkaev's a weird guy because Susurkaev, he's really really talented. I still believe people are doubting him because he had such a close fight with shitty Eric McConico, and he got rocked by Eric Nolan. But I do believe he still is very talented. He trains with Khamzat and all them in Kill Cliff FC. He's good. He's Chechnyan. But no. He's a really good fighter. Fights out of Florida. Okay. But Susurkaev is talented. He's good everywhere. He has really slick striking. He has good grappling. He submitted Eric Nolan after a few less than a week. Like after a few days of his Contender Series win over someone who's not that impressive to me. But yeah, Susurkaev is just good everywhere. The thing he's just a troll, isn't he? If you watch his fights, he literally just doesn't he's so chill because he believes that he's such a high level fighter. Like he feels like these are bums going against him. But even before these wins on the UFC, he did have a lot of round 1 knockouts, and even though they say they're round 1 knockouts, he's a pretty patient striker, and he really takes his time to get his shots, and he has power in the hands. That knockout over Eric McConico was so good and technical. That was just a really good knockout to me. I was actually pretty impressed by the knockout. Even though it was a late knockout and Eric McConico is chinny, it was a pretty good knockout. But he's an all around good fighter. If he actually tried and was 100% serious for a fight, I think he would make these exchanges look a lot easier. But he's a showman. He wants to get the fight of the night. He's just edit farming half the time, isn't he? I remember I remember for that one with Eric McConico, he was literally just this guy thought he was fucking Duke Dennis. He was sitting across the cage just walking, and Eric McConico just chased him. I remember seeing that on TikTok. That was funny. But Djorden Santos, he's kind of like a walk you down kind of striker. He's gonna walk you down, he's gonna throw strikes, and he's not gonna stop. He's gonna continuously walk you down. And I feel like he's gonna have to watch out walking down Baisangur Susurkaev, because Susurkaev actually has pretty decent power in the hands. And I think he's gonna realize that. He has a pretty good chin on him. He lost to Ozzy Diaz, arguably beat him, and beat Danny Barlow with a good upset, but none of these wins are impressive to me. He's a very low level fighter. And I feel like this should be an easy win for Baisangur Susurkaev. I feel like Susurkaev is a parlay piece. Now, if you want to do KO for extra props, you could. But I would probably do round finishes in round 3 because it took him a while to knock out Eric McConico. And I do believe it is going to take him a while to beat Djorden Santos. It really depends because he's going to rock him, and it depends what Susurkaev does. If he's just going to edit farm and just do some dumb bullshit, then Djorden Santos is going to see the next round, maybe even see the fucking scorecards. But if he doesn't, Susurkaev is just going to get a finish and then talk about some bullshit. But yeah, the pick is going to be Susurkaev. I think Djorden Santos has a pretty good chin. He's going to be walking down Susurkaev. It just depends on how many shots Djorden Santos can eat and how Susurkaev actually fights, because he's a weird fighter to actually analyze. No, he's good. He's very talented. He is going to be 12-0. Yeah, I'm picking Susurkaev by another late round 3 KO. Now for Sabatini. Now for the next fight, we have Sabatini going against William Jaguar Gomis. Now these are two of the most boring fighters in their respective fighting styles, if you know what I mean. William Gomis is one of the most boring strikers in the division, and Sabatini is one of the most boring grapplers in the division. Shibai, oh my god, but from Kenny. But Sabatini is a very high level grappler. He out-grappled Chepe Mariscal. That is insanely impressive to me. He out-grappled Mariscal. Got a decision over Brito, just sat on him. He submitted Jonathan Pierce. Got knocked out. Alright, I remember this knockout against Diego Lopez. That was brutal, eh? These guys. Oh yeah, I forgot. Pat Sabatini is a really chinny fucker, and anybody else that actually had decent striking and decent takedown defense, I'd probably take them to beat Pat Sabatini. But William Gomis is such a low. Like he's. I guess he has fast hands, but he's such a low output fighter at times, and I feel like you need to be a high output fighter to really put Sabatini on his back. I feel like Sabatini is gonna walk William Gomis down. I think he's gonna get the takedowns. I think he's just gonna sit on him, and I think he could actually submit him. And I'm going with Sabatini by a round 2 submission. Now I was originally going with decision because that's usually what Pat Sabatini does. He just sits on you. But if you're not a high level grappler and you don't have good jiu-jitsu defense or like submission defense, you're gonna get submitted. And William Gomis showed that when he got submitted by more. What's his name? By it was someone named Sherrier, like the guy that lost that got round 1 KO'd by Cortes-Acosta. I think it's Morgan Sherrier. Getting submitted by that brother, yo, he has like 0 fucking submissions, and I don't know if he rocked him and just got a fucking submission like most people do, like a Vicente Luque, but that's just not impressive, eh? Getting knocked out by someone who's literally a striker, and if you're doing that and you're going against Pat Sabatini, who's a high level grappler who can get submissions, like he can get submissions, I think Pat Sabatini can find the submission here, and I'm a little scared to do rounds with this one because I don't know if he'll just sit on him, but yeah. I don't really know. William Gomis is a decent striker. He doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, and you could argue that he could be on like a crazy losing streak. You could argue the Robert. This should not be a unit. This is a split. This is at least a split. You could argue the Robert Ruchala, Hydramil. You could argue he actually won that. Jonathan Brito. You could argue this one. Nah, and you could argue that Francis Marshall. You could definitely argue. He could really be on a losing streak. He barely outdoes people in his fights to get these split decisions. He's a really weird fighter. He's a boring fighter. So is Pat Sabatini. But Pat Sabatini is a little more high level. He's on a good winning streak. And I'm going to pick him. I'm picking Pat Sabatini by round 2 submission, mainly because I saw that William Gomis doesn't have the best submission defense. Now in the next fight, we have Roman Kopylov going against Marco Matulto Tulio. Alright, now to me, Roman Kopylov has never been impressive. To me, Roman Kopylov has never been impressive. I never thought this guy was good. Never. Even when he got his win over, Chris Curtis and Cesar Almeida, these are 2 mid wins, genuinely. They're so mid. This you could argue this is a early stoppage. Yeah, Chris Curtis definitely argued that. And a split decision with Cesar Almeida, like, brother. Cesar Almeida is going to get killed. He's going to get killed by Damian Pinas. I'm gonna make at least a 3-hour video on Damian Pinas and why he's the greatest UFC fighter to ever touch the middleweight division. But hey, now he did lose to RoboCop. RoboCop is a high level fighter. I don't really mind that loss. We saw RoboCop did get the KO over Bruno Ferreira, and I actually had Bruno Ferreira winning. Did not expect him to get round 1 KO like that. Like that was kind of the craziest get back ever. But no, Gregory Rodriguez's loss is pretty good. Roman Kopylov is a very, very durable fighter. He's very, very durable. But Roman Kopylov has good striking. He has pretty good striking. Not really a grappler. And he will try to keep us on the feet. He's a very twitchy fighter. And at times he just won't like fight. He'll be waiting to fight. Like he'll be waiting to like hit you, and then he's just like twitching his fuck. He's like fainting 20,000 different times and not even hitting or throwing any strikes or anything. Well, the way to beat Roman Kopylov, you need to have good striking, and your striking needs to have power in it, and that is Marco Tulio. Marco Tulio is a diverse striker. He's diverse all around. He has good grappling. He could grapple Roman Kopylov if he needs to, and he has the leg kicks. He has the body kicks. He has the teep kicks. And he has good hands. I feel like Roman Kopylov is kind of outmatched here everywhere, in my opinion. I feel like Marco Tulio is close to Paulo Costa, where he could really work the calf of Roman Kopylov, and he could really put Kopylov on the fence and show him how good Marco Tulio's power is. Because Marco Tulio, whenever you show him you have good power, he just cowers up and doesn't throw as many strikes. And I feel like that is going to happen with Marco Tulio. I remember watching the Tresean Gore fight when doing research for him in Buckley. I remember Tresean Gore in his corner was talking about, he's strong. He is strong, boy. Okay, that was such a bad impression. My bad. But Marco Tulio is a really strong striker, and it shows. He has a lot of knockouts. He has a lot of knockouts. He's a strong guy. And to me, Trayshawn Gore isn't chinny. He really isn't chinny. Like, it's hard to take Trayshawn Gore out of there. I don't know how fucking, what's his name? Cody Brundage knocked him out. I think it was like because of slam and shit. But other than that, it's hard to take him out. With Christian Leroy Duncan, it was kind of weird because CLD was doing like spinning back fists, and at one point it caught the jaw of Marco Tulio, and it looked like Marco Tulio just didn't want to strike anymore. Like he just wanted to clinch him the entire time because it's kind of like similar to Roman where like he felt the power and he's like, bro, I don't want to do this shit anymore, bro. Like it was very very weird. I don't know if that was an off day for him, but he got like yeah the spinning back fist and the punches was like that was brutal. He has a decent chin on him, but he is kind of chinny to me. I don't think Roman Kopylov has the power to knock him out. He's gonna have to knock him out with his fucking head kick, but he doesn't throw the head kick as much anymore, especially when you're gonna pressure him. And I do believe Marco Tulio is gonna pressure Roman Kopylov. I think he's gonna pressure him. I think he's gonna throw low kicks. I think he's gonna throw body kicks, and I think he could clinch if he needs to, and he could grapple if he needs to, like he did in his win over. It doesn't show here. Yeah, no, what? Over his win over Yusri Belguri, where he just threw some strikes, was able to incorporate the grappling, and got an easy decision win. And that's why I am picking Marco Tulio by decision, because Roman Kopylov is a very, very, very durable fighter. He's just durable. He was able to survive Gregor Rodriguez and Paulo Costa. We saw Paulo Costa just get the knockout over Osman Murzakanov, who's actually pretty durable, and Gregor Rodriguez got the knockout win over Bruno Ferreira. These are good losses. All of these are amazing losses. Even Anthony Hernandez. People are trying to switch up on Anthony Hernandez. He's good, bro. Anthony Hernandez is fucking good. Like, he's really, really good. So, the pick will be Marco Tulio, even though Roman Kopylov, like, if you just check, like, the wins and losses, and you do a ratio based off that, you probably should be picking Roman Kopylov, realistically. But I feel like Marco Tulio is closer to Paulo Costa, and I think he might dominate this. I think at closest, he's going to be a 29-28, Marco Tulio. And yeah, Marco Tulio will be the pick, and I am picking him by decision. For the next fight, we have Jim A10 Miller going against Jared the Flash Gordon. I just added the in there because why not? Now, Jim Miller, I'm pretty sure, is trying to get to UFC 400, then fucking retire. Weird guy, you know. He's turning 43 years old and he's still on the roster. But he's pretty decent. Like, he can genuinely, like, compete with these guys. Shiba, he's in front of you. He might get knocked out. He didn't get knocked out by King Green. I remember someone got, like, quick knocked out by King Green. I think it was Grant Dawson. Wait, sorry, I should check it real quick. Yeah, it was. But Jim Miller has some decent submissions. The only way he wins this if he gets it to the ground, and I don't think he will. I think Jared Gordon is gonna knock out Jim Miller because even though he did lose to Rafael Garcia, which it is aging well because he just beat Anthony Hernandez, he's still a fraud though. Like Rafael Garcia is still a fraud, but he was kind of competitive with Rafael Garcia in those first 2 rounds. But the only real reason he lost is because this guy literally fought after getting hit by a fucking car, bro. Like, who the fuck fights after getting hit by a car? What a douchebag. My God. Like, what a weird guy, eh? This guy wants to fight after getting hit by a car, bro. Like, if you're on my fucking parlay and I see you get hit by a car, just fucking quit, man. Like, save me my money, bro. Like, on God. But got a knockout win over Thiago Moises. So this is on Nascar Haskar. He's not the worst, eh? He's not that bad. He got a knockout win over Mark Madsen. So yeah, I think he's going to get a knockout win over Jim Miller. I think he gets it in round 2. I don't think Jim Miller survives that long. Maybe he survives long enough to get to UFC 400, but we're going to see. That's going to be in like 2027, eh? He's going to be like 45. If he's like the oldest fighter on the roster, that would be insane. But he's actually pretty decent. He has some decent wins. He can still compete with people, but he can't compete at a high level with King Green. The King Green. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm picking Jared Gordon. I'm picking him by second round KO. I feel like Jared Gordon is a parlay piece. Minus 300 isn't even that bad for a lock, so yeah. And the next fight, we have Grant KGD Dawson going against Mateusz Rębecki. Now, this is an interesting fight because Grant Dawson's striking is dog shit. His striking is dog shit. Like, I'm going to be real. He doesn't have the greatest striking, but his ground game, you got to recognize the ground game. He has pretty good ground game, and he was able to get ground and pound against Rafa Garcia, which is a good aging win. A really good aging win. All of his wins are well they're aging well. Like, there's nothing to say about it. He did get early round. He did get early round one KO'd by King Green in like the first 30 seconds, and then after that he realized, yo, I can't stand and bang with no one, eh? So then he went on a 3-win streak, and then Manuel Torres was like, yo, here, fuck, fuck. All right, give me a second. Give me a second. Manuel Torres was letting him hit him. I feel like he was like letting him hit him. Like he had his hands low, kind of. His chin high, was letting him get some shots. And then when Grant Dawson got confident in his striking and got close to Manuel Torres, he got knocked the fuck out. He got knocked the fuck out, bro. And we saw Grant Dawson go to sleep, bro. So I feel like if Grant Dawson comes in here with a smart game plan, I think he should easily beat Mateusz Rębecki. I think Mateusz Rębecki is going to try to take him into a brawl. Now, this is really going to depend if Grant Dawson wants to brawl with Rębecki. Does he want to? Does he not want to? We'll see, bro. It's really going to depend on Grant Dawson. Now, his loss over Ludovic Klein isn't even that bad. Got a 10-8 round over him in the third round. But he was kind of getting dominated in the first 2 rounds. I'm pretty sure one of the judges had like a 10-8 for fucking Ludovic Klein. That was insane. This actually should have been a draw. I can't lie. This should have been a draw. But lost over Chris Duncan, had another war with him. Beat Orblad. This is a very... The main reason I was going to pick Mateusz Rębecki because he beat a high-level grappler in Mexico Orblad. Which is why you probably should still pick Mateusz Rębecki. That is a really good win. Lost to Dio for... That's a really bad win. And beat Roosevelt Roberts. I'm pretty sure Yeah, I was about to say. I'm pretty sure Grant Dawson did beat Dio Ferreira, but... Fight styles do make MMA fights, blah, 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 all that bullshit. I'm going to give a slight lean to Grant Dawson. I think he's going to out-wrestle and just sit on Mateusz Rębecki. Yeah, I think Mateusz Rębecki doesn't win this against Grant Dawson, even though he does have a really high-level win over Orblack, who I think is like a top... He's a top 8 welterweight. He's definitely a top 8 welterweight. He'd beat a lot of people easily. The way he beat Chris Curtis easily was just insane. That was disgusting. But Grant Dawson is pretty good. He's like 11-2 in the UFC for a reason. He's not bad. Mateusz Rębecki is also good. Don't get me wrong. Like he should have drawed with Ludovic Klein. He lost to Chris Duncan, but Chris Duncan's a brawler. I don't like that loss against Steel for her. That's the main reason. I can see why people want to pick Rębecki for their underdog pick. It's not a bad pick at all. It's actually pretty good. But I just can't pick someone who has a 6-inch reach disadvantage. And he has to go reach even more to try to get to the head. Like, I don't know. I don't really like this. I would like this more if they were like even on height and reach, and then I'd actually be pretty confident with Rębecki. A lot of people are confident with Rębecki to get a knockout because Grant Dawson's chinny as a bitch, and he wanted to strike with fucking Manuel Torres. But I feel like Grant Dawson's smart here, which he probably will. I don't think he's gonna strike with Mateusz Rębecki. I think he's gonna try to get to this ground as fast as possible, and he probably will. And I think he'll out-grapple Mateusz Rębecki and get the decision win. Now, for the next fight, we have Joel L. Phenomenon. Alvarez going against Yaroslav Amosov. Now, I love Joe Alvarez. I fucking love Joe Alvarez. I love the way he fights. I love everything about him. I think I want his dick. Pause, bro. Pause. But no, Joe Alvarez is actually, he's very good everywhere. He has good submissions. This is literally a 50-50 fight, by the way. This is like perfectly like shown. But he has good submissions, he has good striking, and he has power in the hands, man. He has power in the hands, man. But he's really good everywhere. He's a good all-around fighter. He was probably like a top 5 lightweight, and I think he would actually probably give problems to, what's his name? Even though the show does show TKO, he's not that chinny. I think he would give problems to Ilia Topuria for a little bit until Ilia Topuria just takes him down and just wrestle fucks him. Probably even submits him, I can't lie. But Joe Alvarez is really good. The weird thing I hate about Joe Alvarez, whenever he gets taken down, he usually just accepts it because he knows he has such high level submissions that he could probably submit them whenever they try to go for a takedown on him. That's kind of what he did with this Dars against Mark Diakiese. But good knockouts over these bums. Could have knocked out Vicente Luque, but he didn't want to. He literally sat on him in the third round for like 2 minutes because he just felt bad. It was kind of like a respect moment. I fucking like that out of him. He really could knock him out, but he didn't. That was his first decision ever in the UFC. Going against Yaroslav Amosov, kind of a fraud to me. He did get a quick submission over Neil Magny. And to end off his Bellator contract, he did get knocked out by Jason Jackson. That's like a minus 400. That was disgusting, man. But this is a very, very close fight. And it's really just going to depend on if Yaroslav can get the takedowns. Because if Yaroslav can't get the takedowns, he's probably going to lose this by a late round 3 KO, eh? He's probably going to lose this pretty quick. But if he can get the takedowns, which Joe Alvarez has shown, he'll let you take him down on purpose. He probably beats Joe Alvarez. So this is pretty simple breakdown, and you really just got to ask yourself, do you believe in Joe Alvarez takedown defense? And if yes, pick Joe Alvarez. But if you don't believe in it and you think Yaroslav can take him down for at least 3 rounds, you got to pick Amosov, or at least 2 rounds. You got to pick Amosov. But this is kind of a pick where I'm just picking with my heart because I love Joe Alvarez. I actually love Joe Alvarez. I can't pick against him. I can't. I literally can't. I think he's really, really good. And I think he's better than Yaroslav Amosov. I think his wins are a lot better. I don't rate Bellator wins at all. This Douglas Lima win is actually pretty decent because he beat Castello Vancinas. Castello Vancinas is actually on a high level win right now. High level winning streak in the Bellator division. But the Jason Jackson win, not that good. He has like an excuse about it, talking about he was trying to fight for Ukraine. Like, shut up, man. Shut up, man. Like, brother, if you lose, you lose. Don't make excuses. I hate when fighters make excuses and shit. Just say you lose, okay. Go on to the next, bro. Whatever. But Joe Alvarez is a really high level fighter to me. I don't know if he can stop the takedowns. If he can, he beats Yaroslav Amosov easily. If he doesn't, he loses. The right pick probably is Yaroslav Amosov. I'm not gonna lie, but I do like that Joe Alvarez has the height and reach advantage, so we could probably keep him at bay. But if he lets him take him down, brother, this is gonna be so annoying to watch. But the pick is gonna be Joe Alvarez. I don't think he'll knock out Yaroslav Amosov, even though he obviously does have the KOs, and you probably should pick him by knockout. I'm gonna just go decision. I think Yaroslav can he'll probably have some grappling success. He'll probably try to clinch with this guy so he doesn't get knocked out. He won't keep this on the feet. But I feel like if he does that, he's gonna get kneed a lot, eh? Because Joe Alvarez has some nasty knees. He has nasty elbows, and he's just gonna do whatever he wants, eh? But the pick is gonna be Joe Alvarez. This is mainly just a vibes pick. Not really a vibes pick, but I just love Joe Alvarez. I don't want to pick against him. I literally don't. So yeah, I'm picking Joe Alvarez. I'm picking him by decision. Oh, would you look at that? I think I leaked my pick, bro. I think I leaked my pick. For the next fight, we have Ateba the Storm Gautier going against Ozzy Diaz. Now, should I really even say anything here? I think this is an easy round 1 KO for Ateba Gautier. Ozzy Diaz showed in his last fight with Djorden Santos that he is hittable as a bitch. And if you're hittable against Ateba Gautier and you're trying to go to war with someone, you don't go to war with Ateba Gautier, bro. You just don't. You don't, bro. Oh my god, and the best fight, I just realized, the best fight in this division will probably be Damian Pinas versus Ateba Gautier. That would be such a good fight. And I'm always going to pick fucking Damian Pinas. Always. Even though he's a bigger Damian Pinas, I feel like Damian Pinas is so much more smarter and technical. Ateba Gautier is a fucking fraud to me, eh? But Ozzy Diaz he's just too exposed on the feet. And if you're exposed on the feet, Ateba Gautier is gonna get around with KO. He has heavy power. He did have a decision with Andre Puliov, but he knocked him down 20 times. And then you got some quick knockout wins over these people, all of that, blah blah blah. Gautier in 6. Alright, to start the main card, we have King Green going against Jeremy Lil Hethan Steffens. Oh, see what I did there? Holy shit. 1-4. Good loss against Gamrot. Shit loss. Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that guy? Hey, you remember that, Jeremy? Nah. Alright, you just have to pick King Green here. King Green's actually on a pretty decent run. He's 3-2. Good win over Lance Gibson Jr. Even though Lance Gibson Jr. did take on short notice, it's a pretty decent win. And he got a good knockout win over Zell Huber. Pretty sure the only person to ever knock out Zell Huber somehow. Like, the fuck? And he got knocked out by Mauricio Rufy. That was an insane spinning heel hook. I think if that hits any of our chins, we're all getting knocked out. That was a highlight reel KO. That was an amazing KO. And he got subbed by Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett's actually pretty decent. He's not that bad. Beat Jim Miller. King Green's just better. Even though they're the same age, same height, kind of, and same reach, King Green is just better, bro, and I feel like everybody knows it. Jeremy Stevens just faded harder than King Green. He does have. Does he have more mileage? No, I think King Green has more. Yeah, no, I think they have like around the same fights. I think actually have. I think they're very close on fights. I think Jeremy Stevens has like, no, I think they're actually on like the same fights. I think like 1 or 2 fights off. I was about to say Jeremy Stevens has more mileage, but he doesn't. He's actually pretty hard to knock out, so I'm gonna go King Green by decision, even though King Green does have the power to knock people out. Yeah, I'm going King Green by decision. There's nothing really more to say. He's a very decent striker. His hands are always low. He low as fuck, and he will trash talk you mid fight. And I feel like that really gets into some of his fighters' heads, like Zellhuber, where he was just talking shit to him. Zellhuber would just smile and get his ass beat the entire time. It was actually so funny, bro. This guy would smile, throw combo, and just get fucking countered, bro. Disgusting. But King Green, actually pretty decent striker, and he can incorporate the grappling if he needs to against Jeremy Stephens, which did happen with Mason Jones when it was like competitive fight. Mason Jones was like, oh shit, let me just incorporate some grappling and easily beat him. I think King Green can really do that here. I don't think he will because it's King Green. I think he just wants to do what King Green does. After he wins this, I'm gonna promote his fucking strip club. He's gonna do like the spray water thing, the fountain, and go. I'll walk shit down. That's all what King Green's gonna say. Oh my god, bro. Like if he wins another time, we're gonna have 4-1 King Green in his last fights, bro. That'd be insane. But I think he'd be Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens is kind of like a journeyman to me. He's not even a journeyman. He's just here for the vibes, bro. He's just here for the vibes. If you're here for the vibes, you're not gonna beat King Green. King Green's actually a decently competitive, and he could actually be ranked after this if he wins this. Which is kind of insane. We're gonna have ranked King Green in 2026. Insane. Alright, for the next fight, we have Sean Brady going against Joaquin Buckley. Now, this is the definition of a 50-50 fight. Even though it does say slightly into Brady, kind of like the Joe Alvarez and Yaroslav, Amosov, this is a very close fight. It's a close fight. They're same on height, but Buckley does have the 3.5. I'm going to specify 3.5 inch reach advantage. Now, Sean Brady, we know who he is. He has okay striking. Bro, wait. I have to say something. For some reason, people think people think Buckley's just going to outclass him if it's on the feet. Sean Brady's striking isn't that bad. It really, really isn't that bad. I literally just rewatched some of his fights. His striking is actually pretty decent. And I don't know why people, even in this loss against Michael Morales, like, I didn't hate his striking. I think he's actually pretty technical on the feet. I don't think his striking's that bad. I think he has like no head movement. Like he has no head movement. He'll get hit pretty easily. If he really if I see him incorporate head movement here, I feel like he'd win this pretty easily. But the reason why this is a close fight is that Sean Brady doesn't really have the greatest head movement. He's pretty static in that area. But when he's actually working his opponent, he will incorporate head movement. Like when he's in that flow state, he's actually pretty good. He had a really impressive win over Leon Edwards and Gilbert Burns, and he easily beat Kevin Gastelum. He's a high-level fighter, man. Sean Brady is really, really good. He got torched by Michael Morales and TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. The only reason I was more confident, I was very confident on Buckley is because after seeing that fucking Bilal Muhammad knock, I forgot about that. I forgot that Bilal Muhammad knocked Sean Brady out. The decision king got a knockout over Sean Brady. That's so unexpected, eh? That is very, very unexpected. Yeah, he got a Kimura with Gastelum. He got a guillotine over Leon Edwards, and he got knocked out on Michael Morales. Apparently, he had injuries before that fight. Blah blah blah. Another thing where I just don't like when fighters have some excuses. But he's good, man. I love the way Sean Brady fights. I don't know why. I hate when I see these fighters and they just have such a good fighting style and they just end up losing, eh? But he's good. He's still in his prime. He's a high-level grappler. He's probably a top 2 grappler in this division, up there with Islam. He's probably him and Islam that are the best grapplers in that division. Islam obviously just on a different level. But that knockout loss from Michael Morales isn't bad. Michael Morales did good. Just had that zesty ass position where he had his fucking forward hips. Well, it's tough in the takedowns. But yeah, I think he's just better, eh? I think he's just better than him. Michael Morales, he's a top 3 fucking welterweight. But yeah, decent losses. He's very, very good wins. Now with Joaquin Buckley, we just saw him recently lose against washed up Usman, bro. We're losing against washed Usman. We're getting taken down 4 rounds in a row by washed up Usman. What the fuck, man? But yeah, Usman really took down Buckley whenever he wanted. He really took Buckley down whenever he wanted. Except for that 5th round when he would try to take him down. I feel like Buckley was like had the better gas tank because he wasn't shooting as many takedowns like Kamaru Usman. So obviously he had like the better gas tank. Where I feel like Kamaru Usman was a little gassed and he couldn't really follow through with half of these takedowns. They were very sloppy, by the way. I don't think that's gonna happen with Sean Brady. Plus, this is a 3-round fight, so I don't think Sean Brady's gonna gas that fast. I think Sean Brady, like with the fight with Leon Edwards, if he can connect his hands with takedown, we've seen that Buckley can get taken down like that. I feel like Sean Brady doesn't even have to take him down. I feel like he can. I feel like he can do decent in striking. I think he is gonna do decent striking. I think people are gonna be surprised of how decent Sean Brady's striking is, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, no way, Buckley's so washed," but he isn't washed. He's not bad at all. It's that Sean Brady's striking isn't that bad if you actually watch his fights. And that's why most of these people who like actually put money or do predictions on these fights, they don't actually watch like their old fights, and they really just like, I don't know. It's so weird how people don't want to watch like any tape because it matters a lot. And after watching the tape, I realized that Brady's striking is actually pretty decent. I actually like his striking. I think it's actually pretty okay. The only thing I don't like is his foot movement is okay. His footwork's okay, but his head movement is so bad. If he just improved his head movement, I would like him a lot more in this position. But his head movement's pretty mid. Against Joaquin Buckley, you're gonna need good head movement because he has some power. He has some uppercuts. He has some good knockouts, and he could. The fuck. Oh, no, but he has some really good striking. He's shown in that win with Colby Covington. That was like doctor stoppage. He did knock out He did knock out Wonder Boy though. Pretty impressive win. This is a really impressive win to me. He beat Ruzoboyev by decision, and he did knock out Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque's only been knocked out twice, so that's a pretty good win. But I feel like Sean Brady's just more higher level. I think he's more high level. I feel like Buckley could get the knockout here if Brady just is an idiot, like an actual idiot. But if Kevin Gastelum couldn't knock him out, and Kevin Gastelum's kind of similar to Buckley, but he's kind of like a shorter, stockier, less reach Buckley and less fight IQ Buckley. But even Buckley doesn't have that crazy fight IQ. But I feel like his loss was like, what, 10 months ago? He probably actually did improve his grappling, 10 months ago is actually a long time ago. And we just saw him recently get scorched 5 months ago. This is going to be interesting. Smart pick. Buckley is actually a pretty good underdog pick. I think a lot of people are picking him. But I'm going to go with Sean Brady. I actually like his striking. And I'm going to go late round 3 submission over Buckley. I think he's going to take him down. I think he's just going to either get the decision win or the submission. I'm going to go submission. And the pick is going to be Sean Brady by a late round 3 submission. Now for the next fight, we have Alexander Drago Volkov going against Waldo Salsa Boy Cortes-Acosta. Now, Alexander Volkov, he's been on a decent streak, For being 37 years old, turning 38, he's actually been doing pretty good for himself. He got grapple fucked by Jailton Almeida. He was grappling Cyril Gane, and I think he beat Cyril Gane. You could argue he lost to Jailton Almeida, but I don't really think he did. I think he did a little more than Jailton Almeida. Really, really good win over Sergey Pavlovich, where he actually used his reach. He really used his reach effectively, was just pumping that jab, throwing body kicks, and throwing calf kicks. That was just an impressive win to me. And he's just a good striker. He's a pretty high-level striker. He could grapple when he needs to. Yeah, I don't really know what you want me to say, I'm pretty tired right now. But Waldo Cortes-Acosta, pretty good striker. Has some decent grappling if he needs to incorporate it. But he's kind of a fraud to me. I don't know why. Waldo Cortes-Acosta, he did get a win over Derek Lewis. Lewis is pretty dog shit to me. Shamil Gaziev was just running in blindly with no fight IQ, and he got caught. Ante Deliha is dog shit as well. He was throwing his chin out in the air. I don't think Alexander Volkov is going to do anything like these fighters. Anytime, when Waldo Cortes-Acosta went against someone similar to him, he got fucked, bro. Like, anytime he tried to, like, let his hands go in the pocket, Sergey Pavlovich was just faster and snappier than him. He would always win the exchanges over him. But I don't think that's how it's going to go against Alexander Volkov. I think the fight with Alexander Volkov and Pavlovich is more similar because Waldo Cortes-Acosta and Sergey Pavlovich are very, very similar. They're extremely similar. And I think that is kind of how the fight's going to go. I think this fight's going to go to decision. And I feel like Volkov is going to do what he did to Pavlovich and just keep his distance, pump the jab, pump the kicks and throw the body kicks. And I think he's actually gonna look more dominant than his win over Sergey Pavlovich, because Pavlovich actually has long hands. He has like 84-inch reach, so he had a 4-inch reach advantage over Volkov. But I don't think that's really gonna matter. The reach didn't really matter against Waldo Cortes-Acosta. It's just Waldo Cortes-Acosta, he did the right thing where he would close the distance, but he was just the slower fighter in that fight. He just got outdone in those moments against Pavlovich. Now the only way Waldo wins is that he needs to incorporate the wrestling. He needs to wrestle Volkov. If he doesn't, he's guaranteed to lose. If he fought like he did in his last 3 fights, he's losing guaranteed. He's guaranteed to lose. It won't be close. I can see him shooting for takedowns. Like Waldo actually could win here if he gets the takedowns. I don't think he will. I think Volkov is gonna show dominance. I think he's just gonna keep him at bay. But if Waldo does go for takedowns, he probably will take Volkov down, and he probably will take him down pretty easily. But he's a big guy, and I can see Volkov actually getting on top of him by accident, like scrambling and getting on top of him, and then ended up getting around over Waldo because he couldn't actually successfully get the right takedown. So I'm gonna go Volkov, and I'm going Volkov by decision. I think this fight, no matter what, goes to decision. Volkov actually has a pretty good chin, and Waldo has an amazing chin. So we'll see. Let's go for that. Now for the co-main event, we have Joshua the Fearless Van going against Tatsuro the Best Taira. 2 amazing fucking nicknames. These guys know, eh? They actually know. Now, Joshua Van, 5'5", 65-inch reach. He's a short, stocky fighter here. That kind of shown in his fight against Brandon Royval, where he looked so miniature against Royval. He looked so fucking small. Going against Tatsuro Taira, who's 5'7", 70-inch reach. So big reach advantage for Tatsuro Taira. Now, Joshua Van has amazing boxing. I love this guy's boxing. Joshua Van is an amazing striker. He's gonna beat Tatsuro Taira if this stays on the feet. It's just a fact. If this stays on the feet, anytime Tatsuro Taira is gonna strike, Joshua Van's gonna counter, and he's gonna blitz counter him, and he's gonna look so much better on the feet. The fact that he was able to look pretty decent in the striking against Brandon Royval. By the way, in this fight, Brandon Royval did everything right. He was pumping the jab, he was keeping his distance, but Joshua Van was just walking him down, and he did Joshua Van did it was such a weird thing where Royval, there was nothing he could have done there. Genuinely, nothing he could have done there. Except for maybe have, some better, fight IQ. But other than that, he just, Joshua Van had an amazing game plan, and he easily beat him. He's a pretty high IQ fighter. And obviously, I think people will realize that the only way Taira wins this is if he takes it to the grappling. Now, we saw in the fight with Ray Tatsuro that Joshua Van actually has pretty good takedown defense. And we saw in that fight, Ray Tatsuro went for 20 takedowns. And he got 2 of them in the first round, a few of them in the second round. And then, I think he only got 14. He got 2 in the first round, 1 in the second round. 2 in the second round. And they didn't get any in the third round. I don't know. I feel like if Tatsuro Taira does that, I think he's going to gas out harder than Ray Tatsuro. Because Ray Tatsuro's a high-level wrestler, and he's been doing that for a lot of his life. So he actually knows how to deal with the cardio issues for that. But Tatsuro Taira, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like how this fight's going to go, I think Joshua Van's going to pump the jab. I think he's going to walk Tatsuro Taira down. I think Taira's going to throw, Van's going to counter, and then Tatsuro Taira's going to feel the power, because Van's a very, very powerful striker. He's going to feel the power, and then the fight's going to go on for 2 to 3 more minutes. Tatsuro Taira is going to shoot. Now, I feel Van's going to stuff it, and when Van stuffs it and throws nasty elbows in the clinch, because they're going to go in the clinch, because Tatsuro Taira will take you in the clinch, Van's going to throw some elbows, throw some knees, and it's really just going to depend if Tatsuro Taira can eat these shots, and he probably can. He'll maybe get the takedown. But if he does no damage, or doesn't get that any crazy control time, because Joshua Van doesn't, he's always active. Unlike Brandon Royval, Joshua Van has much better takedown defense, and he'll actually move around. The only bad thing about Joshua Van is that he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. If he gets taken down and he gets his back taken by Tatsuro, it might be game. On God, it might be game. But this is a really interesting fight where it's kind of parallel. It's kind of like a 50-50 fight. Well, there's a lot of 50 fights here. 50-50 fights here. But if Tatsuro Taira can get Joshua Van's back, it'll be pretty interesting. I think Joshua Van actually had some, it showed in his fight with Ray Tatsuro that he has nasty elbows and he knows how to use them. He can use them when he needs to. In the Pantoja fight, he was actually looking pretty decent. He was ripping to the body. And I think he'll do the same thing with Taira. If Taira tries to clinch with him, he'll rip to the body. He'll throw elbows. and he'll keep him off of him. He won't accept any positions. I think Joshua Van wins this, eh? I think Joshua Van wins this, and I think he wins by late round 4 KO. Because in the fight with Brandon Royval, like, Taira almost got killed in that third round until Brandon Royval accepted to grapple Taira and let him catch his breath and not get chinned. I feel like Van has more power than Brandon Royval. Even though Brandon Royval does have some power, he had some moments against Van. I feel like Van has more power than Royval. I think he hits harder than Royval. And I think he is gonna knock out Tatsuro Taira, maybe even earlier. But I think it'll probably be a round 3 or round 2 KO. Not round 3 or round 4 KO. At best 5. But I think Joshua Van is going to rock Tatsuro Taira at some point in this fight. And when he rocks him, he's going to look for the finish. Tatsuro Taira is going to decide to grapple. And we've seen the same thing with Ray Tatsuro. When he felt the power of Joshua Van, he tried to grapple. Wasn't able to do it. It'll be quite interesting because we've seen Van go against a high-level Japanese grappler. And he was able to do pretty well against him. This is going to be another test where we're going to see how good is Joshua Van's takedown defense. Because one of his losses is a quick submission. I think that was like his first loss, where he just instantly tapped. Didn't really give any give. He just like I don't know, such a weird thing where he just like tapped in an instant. Like he just didn't want to fight anymore. He'll maybe do that against Taira, so he knows he can't take this to the ground, and he's gonna try everything in his power not to. At least I think he will. I think he'll set the takedowns, and I think he'll beat Taira on the feet pretty easily. I think if this goes to decision, I think Van at least wins 4 to... No, I think Van will win 3 rounds, and I think Taira will win 2 rounds. Maybe one of them is like a close round and a split decision, a robbery for Taira, but I think Van wins either ways. And I am going to pick Van by a late round 4 TKO. Alright, for the main event, we have Khamzat Boris Chimaev going against Sean Strickland. Are we surprised? Like, are we really surprised that I'm picking Chimaev, bro? Chimaev is just better than Sean Strickland. He's just better. Like, Sean Strickland, the only way Sean Strickland wins this, and I think everybody knows this, stuff the takedowns of Chimaev. Stuff the takedowns. You stuff the takedowns, you keep it on the feet, you'll have a chance. But even after watching tape on Khamzat Chimaev, like, his striking isn't even that bad. It's actually pretty okay. It's pretty decent. Like, he could stand and bang if he needs to. But Sean Strickland, he's on a win-loss. Like, you can't break the streak of this. It's kind of like MMA thing where if you really know the win-loss thing, 99% of the time, when you're in a streak of a win-loss, you stay in that streak for a long time. Now, I don't think Sean Strickland's going to break that win-loss streak, eh? I don't think he will. I think Khamzat Chimaev is just level above him. A lot of people are going submission. People were doing the same thing with Dricus Duplessis, but he just sat on him. Why are people not going to think that he's just going to sit on Sean Strickland? I think he's just going to sit on Sean Strickland again and have another boring fucking fight. But even if Sean Strickland is able to keep this on the feet, Khamzat Chimaev, I feel like he's going to walk Strickland. It's going to be interesting. It's actually going to be very, very interesting. Because if Strickland can walk him down and stuff the takedowns, which he knows he needs to, I think he'll actually do pretty okay here. But if he can't, he's probably going to get submitted. And a lot of people are going submission. But after seeing that like fight with Brendan Allen, and where Chimaev just fucked the shit out of him, that was just eye-opening. That was insanely eye-opening. And Brendan Allen has been looking pretty good recently. He's actually been looking pretty good. He's probably going to be Shabazian pretty easily. But I'm going to go Khamzat Chimaev. I don't know what to say. Like, it's such a weird card where I did so much tape study that I just don't even know what to say anymore. I'm not gonna lie, next time in my next video, I'm actually just gonna get, like, a fucking, I'm gonna get a Google, I remember this one time I'm gonna get a Google Docs and, like, take notes of everything. Because I'm just, like, because I don't, like, have a script, so I just say everything off the top of my head type shit, you know what I'm saying? But Khamzat Chimaev is the high-level grappler. He has decent striking. And I think he's gonna take down Sean Strickland and just sit on him for 5 rounds. I can see the submission for Chimaev because he can get submissions when he needs to. Like over Kevin Holland, very quick darts, and he got an insane face crank over Robert Whitaker where he literally dislocated his jaw or broke his jaw. That was an insane win over Robert Whitaker. Like, disgusting domination. Sean Strickland, he's actually pretty decent. Against his fight with Anthony Hernandez, like, he shot like 1 takedown and didn't want to fucking shoot again. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Okay, you didn't get 1 takedown. That doesn't mean you don't shoot any more takedowns. Like, that makes no fucking sense, bro. I feel like Anthony Hernandez shot more takedowns. It would have been a more competitive fight. He got beat on the feet pretty easily. He lost to DDP. twice. I feel like the first time he actually beat DDP, so it's pretty interesting. Viagra Adesanya and got a close win over Costa, but I think he actually pretty. I think he beat him pretty decisively. Very good wins, and Strickland's a high level fighter. But Chimaev is literally a different breed, bro. Like, Chimaev is a different breed, and that's how I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna pick Chimaev by decision. A lot of people are going to submission. I don't really see it. Strickland's never been submitted before, but it's Chimaev. You never know. But yeah, that'll do my picks for UFC 328 Chimaev versus Strickland. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing because it means a lot to me, and it really keeps me motivated to push out more content for you guys. That's gonna do it for me. If you got that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys have a good day. God bless and stay safe. Blah blah blah.